Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to Injustice 2. Now, Hellboy is going to be coming out in about 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and I think it's very likely that with his release or either soon after, we're going to be seeing another balance patch for the game. If I'm not mistaken, the first balance patch hit after all the characters for Fighter Pack 1 got released. This game needs some changes, I think. As fun as it is, there are some things that just kind of bother me, and from what I've seen online with the discussions, bother a lot of people as well. Some characters need desperate changes in terms of buffs, and some need to be nerfed. Um, in this video, I'm going to be talking about characters that I think need buffing, and what I think are some of the changes that these characters need, because sure, every character in this game is viable to some extent. They do well in certain matchups, or if a player is really good, they can make them work. However, you gotta admit that these characters are not the cream of the crop. This game, I think, already suffers pretty badly from a lack of character variety. For example, I cannot tell you when the last time was that I saw a cyborg online. Same with Joker. I think giving these characters some buffs would really help with just kind of giving these characters a bit more, just like, exposure, because who knows what else people can discover. The first character we're going to be covering here is obviously, as you can see, the Joker. And first of all, excuse the gameplay in the background. I do not play all of these characters that we're going to be covering today. I do play some. Joker I kind of messed around with, but he has some problems. One of the problems Joker has is a lack of wake up. To be honest with you, Joker is okay in many aspects. He has decent strings. The frame data on these strings is decent. Good sweep, good jump attacks. He has a lot of things that a good Injustice character needs. Once he gets his game plan going, it is very difficult to deal with. But Joker's biggest problem right now, I think, is that he's completely outclassed by Red Hood. Red Hood is basically the same character archetype, kind of setup heavy, trap, overheads and lows and all that. But he does everything the Joker does miles better. Joker kind of already felt shoehorned into this game, and the release of Red Hood did not help, if I'm gonna be honest with you. There's right now, I would say that there is no point in picking Joker over Red Hood if you just want the character type. And the first thing that Joker needs, I think, is a wake up. Red Hood has a wake up, so there's no reason Joker shouldn't have one. Once this character gets knocked down, it is over. He's gonna have a lot of trouble getting out of a situation like that, especially against this pressure heavy character. And sure, the character I'm beating up here, Black Adam, also has the same deal, but if you look at the tools Black Adam has versus the tools Joker has, it just cannot be compared. How Black Adam has zoning, dive kicks, and a lot better offense. Unfortunately, Joker really suffers with the lack of wake up. I think this move can easily be given some invincibility frames on wake up. It's still unsafe as fuck. This move is really, really unsafe. So it's not, at least I'm pretty sure it is, unless yeah, it's -9. Like, there's no reason not to have this be a wake up. Second thing that Joker needs is something to be done with this move. This has got to be one of the most pointless moves in the entire game. What the hell is the purpose of this? It starts up in like 3 years. Like, you can so easily react to this, even if your character doesn't have a really fast projectile, and just stuff Joker out of it, because this is like no armor or anything. What is the point of this move? It doesn't combo from anything. It's not like you can combo this move, see? Whereas you can combo the low one. So again, I ask, what the hell is the purpose of this move? Sure, if you hit with the EX, you can combo off of it, but you've got to be in the face of your opponent. It's like, who the hell is ever gonna get hit by that? This move is completely pointless. I think they really need to kind of increase the startup, or just give it some extra property, like damage over time or stunning, something, because there's just no purpose to it. Finally, I would like to see something done with Joker's trait. I've covered his trait in the worst traits video that I did a while ago. This one is tough. I don't know what they could do with this. It just doesn't complement the character at all, because Joker doesn't have bad mobility. Like, you can see he's already pretty fast. His walk speed could be improved, but the thing is, this doesn't actually improve his walk speed, only his dashes and jumps. So maybe this could be the thing. Like, if this move kind of increased his walk speed, the speed of it, maybe that would help, because right now sometimes there is just like no point in even popping the trait. Sure, you can do it if there's like a situation where you're not threatened, but it's kind of not gonna give you a lot, whereas a lot of traits in this game are actually very good in terms of the purpose they fulfill. Next up, we gotta cover my boy Swamp Thing. People got really salty at me when I made that video calling Swamp Thing low tier a couple of months ago, and I will admit I wasn't kind of optimizing my use of this character. Kind of put some work into him with practice mode, because I genuinely really like this character and I want to play him. Unfortunately, playing him is such a struggle. You can feel it. You're playing this guy online and you can feel that he is inferior to many of the other cast members. Now, I think out of all the characters in the entire Injustice 2 roster, Swamp Thing has the most trouble getting in on zoners. This character is so easy to zone out. And that's because of two things. One, he has one of the worst jumps in this game. This dude is pretty much no jump zone. You never ever want to leave the ground with this dude, even though the hitboxes for his jump ins are actually, except for that, pretty good, especially his jump 3. The problem is, look at how floaty he is. It's like he's on the moon. Like, what the hell? Why is he the only character that has this kind of jump? I don't get it. The second thing that contributes to him just getting zoned out is his meter burn dash, or roll or whatever. It's kind of a dash. This is one of the worst meter burn rolls in the game. It covers the least amount of space. It's slow. Yeah, like your opponent can pretty much react to it. And it has terrible startup. Terrible, like absolutely terrible on startup. Can get stuffed so easily. So what you're left with is you're fighting a dead shot. You're absolutely screwed. There's no getting in. And it's really unfortunate because I think up close Swamp Thing has decent options. I wouldn't say he's a terrible character, but the mobility issues take away so much from him, because you know he has overheads and lows, he has decent strings, damage, he has good damage, command grabs, like not even the wine grab because that one is a little bit shitty, but he has a wake up. This grab is really good. Like, people have figured out a way to use his offense, but his mobility is so bad that it just destroys all of that in a game that is this focused on zoning and keep out. Obviously, two things I think Swamp Thing needs is a better jump, make it just a little bit quicker, or give him the air dash that he gets from his legendary gear. Just give him something for his jumps. Second of all, increase his meter burn rolls startup, I think. Okay, we'll deal with the distance and its slowness, but the startup has got to be faster. Up close, I don't think this character actually needs much. I would really like to see this wine grab be a mid. It can still be really easily avoided because it's not the fastest, you can still jump it. But the fact that people can just duck it, and believe me, most people are ducking against Swamp Thing full screen, is just, this move feels kind of pointless. Like, why even throw it out at this point? Like, people are just gonna duck it. Other than that, I would really like to see them do something with this move. What the hell is the purpose of this move? Again, kind of like with Joker's other move, like, it's so slow. No one is ever gonna hit anyone with it. Really like to see that. I think Swamp Thing can be made into a good character. He doesn't need much. We don't want to have an MKX Jason situation on our hands. He can be broken. He can. I think this character could be made really strong, but he doesn't need it. He's already decent. Just struggles due to how the meta of Injustice 2 is right now. One of the characters I'm not gonna cover here too much because I made an entire 15-minute video on him is Blue Beetle. You can check that video out. I think just like how Joker is outclassed by Red Hood, Blue Beetle is completely outclassed by Supergirl. She does pretty much the same things. Quick, good air mobility, good air kind of zoning and all that. She's just better in every aspect. Blue Beetle needs more damage, some better combos, and a point to his trait. And finally, the last character we're going to be covering, and don't think this the wrong way, people who play Cyborg, but if I had to, gun to my head, pick a character who I think is the worst in this game, I would, without a doubt, pick Cyborg. This dude is absolutely terrible for in Injustice 2. I think he was okay in Injustice 1, but Injustice 1 wasn't this zoning focused, so he stood out more. He's pretty much unchanged from his Injustice 1 version, except for the trait, I think. But he's stuck in a game where the game is full of excellent zoners. Now obviously he has some things going for him. His projectiles are mid. You can pretty much cover every part of the screen with them. His trait is good because once it's out, it's out. However, this guy gets outzoned so easily, which for a dedicated zoner is terrible. Like Deathshot versus Cyborg, don't even get me started. Dr. Fate as well. Yeah, he just cannot do much. Even characters, you know, that get in really well, like Cheetah. And the problem is, the reason Cyborg can't deal with those characters, like Batman, Cheetah, you know, the ones that just get in and stay in your face, Superman, is because just like Joker, he hasn't got a defensive option. Once he's knocked down, he's down. So, I think, just like with Joker, this move, his tackle, needs to function as a wake-up. Sure, it's a throw, you know, don't give it like full invincibility and all that, but it's got to function at least as somewhat of a semi-decent wake-up, because he just needs a defensive option. Second of all, Cyborg has a really crappy backdash. A lot of zoners, you know, have more decent backdashes. Again, the aforementioned Dr. Fate and Deathshot. His forward dash is decent, it covers quite a lot of space. But the problem with this is, like, it's really difficult to get away from some of the really mobile characters like Supergirl and all that, because his backdash is so terrible. Finally, his combos or his strings. His strings are okay in terms of frame data and all that. The problem with them is that he is a super stubby-limbed character. His range is absolutely terrible. Some of the worst range out of the entire cast. And also some of his combos like that, the startup on this is terrible on this low. He gets stuffed really easily. So pretty much the only thing this character can do is zone. However, he's stuck in a game, like I said, where there are a lot better zoners than him. Again, as I said at the start, I cannot remember the last time I've seen a Cyborg online. Nobody plays this character, and for good measure. I've seen Swamp Things, you know, people kind of duking it out with Swamp Thing. Joker as well, some really good players. This guy, unfortunately, is absolutely pointless. Plus, he also gets a ton of shit if you do manage to play him, because he's so zoning focused and people get really salty about zoning. If you do play a matchup where he does well, because certainly, just like with any other character, there are matchups where he does well. I think, for example, Wonder Woman, he keeps out pretty well, but then you just end up with people getting salty because you're zoning. It's a shame because, again, I think they just stuck him in because he's a legacy character, but because the state of the game changed, he just became outclassed. I really hope they give him something. He needs quicker strings with better range, and he needs a wake up. There was something interesting with him in Hellboy's trailer. He had like this low attack with his kind of big arm thing. They give him something like a mix-up, something that to mix your opponent up. I think that would really help. Maybe just a low move. Oh, also he has like jack shit for lows. He has like what is it? Like this, but that starts off a high. And as you saw, this has like really bad startup. Hope they do something because I do like the character. And you know, again, you want every character to be viable, just kind of to sum up this entire video. So I'm hoping they manage to change something with all of these characters and we'll finally get to see them online. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Injustice 2. I didn't cover all the characters. There are certain characters that I think need changes, but maybe not huge ones. Gorilla Grodd, I think, is a perfect example. A lot of people think Grodd is bad. I don't think he's bad. I think he's just really execution heavy. But these are the main ones that I think really need help ASAP. Gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. There's gonna be another part to this video where I cover the characters. And this one is probably gonna generate more salt, where I'm gonna cover the characters that I think need nerfs. So make sure to stick around for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Injustice. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I put a ton of Injustice 2 content out, mainly relating to these type of videos, but sometimes online play as well. And I hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.